Good evening, everybody else. We are back live on YouTube channel at the moment. We are with Mr. Winston and Mr. Mohamed Noor from Bok Makiere. And first, we will want to know about them a little bit. Let them explain about themselves, and after that, we're going to ask some certain question about Bok Makiere future. All right, let's go.
Well, I'm a youngster that grew up in the Bok Makiere Axon area, and we moved in when I was a 7-year-old boy. I turned 59 a month ago myself. I've been there since for 42 years. 52 years I'm staying in that community. And to me, it's sad to see what happened now recently in our communities. But about 3 years ago, an elderly lady was shot in a bedroom where she was sleeping with a stray bullet from a gang fight. And this was so sad because it seems to me these youngsters don't have no remorse for whatever they're busy with. Limits just killing a next person. It's like it's something that they don't understand, because to them it's about power. And I feel it's not right that youngsters that grew up in front of these elderly people that are killed now recently must do as they please. Because now lately also what happened about a month ago, the son shot his mother, and she died after 2 days later. She died, which is so sad. So that means it's not just gangsters; it's their own children that kills the elderly in their homes, because just for their drug to get money out of them, forcing to go buy that drug which they need. Then you have now lately also a child was killed with a stray bullet, also through gangsterism. This child, an innocent child, sitting in the garage, killed by a stray bullet. We don't actually know who was the shooter, but a couple of guys were shooting. Who the killer really was, it's a court case towards this whole thing. And I feel that justice should be done, because there should be no bails given to these guys that shoot people left, right, and center. And then we have now another elderly lady. She used to feed these youngsters, knocking on the door, giving them food. Well, I say, you don't cut off the hand that feeds you. And if you cut off the hand that feeds you, well, that means you don't care. Unfortunately, the guys who committed this crime, killing this elderly lady so brutally, smashing her head into kill her, it's sad. Well, they locked up. The court case is still running. We don't know whether the court has got enough proof to find them guilty in this matter. But that's all I can say about this incident.
All right, we are now going back to Mr. Mohamed Noor. Let's speak about it.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and good evening to everybody as well that's watching this video. I feel very honored to be here, and like to thank Al-Shura party for inviting us to explain to everyone right over the world what's happening in our area called Bok Makiere. Just a bit of info regarding Bok Makiere. I live in Bok Makiere. I grew up there since the age of 2-3 years old, and the name was actually changed from Bok Makiere to Hazendal, but a lot of our people still prefer to be under the banner of Bok Makiere, despite the fact of the amount of crime that's happening there, and the things that's going on that people are afraid of. But the crime is not. There is other positive things happening in our area as well, other than the crime that we're experiencing there. Such as everyone by now know already, Darren August, the train hero. He's from Bok Makiere, lives a street away from me, 4th Avenue, a real hero to our communities, an example which our youngsters can follow. And the problem in our community currently is that we don't have real, there's a lot of heroes in our own community that our youth can or not even just our youth, but also our adults can follow, but they choose not to follow these people. one example, very good example, is sitting with us, Mr. Vincent Baatjies, a well-known person in Bok Makiere, and not just in Bok Makiere, in the Western Cape, in Cape Town as well. So, and Mr. Vincent Baatjies is one of the people that own so many organizations in the area just to keep the youth together. Mr. Baatjies can maybe elaborate more on the organizations that he's running and what he's trying to achieve with these children in the area. But there is only just so much that we as the community can do to save these children from gangsterism, from going onto the wrong path. But in the end, they've got their choice to make whether they're going to take the right path or if they're going to go onto the route of the wrong path. So I'll give a bit for Mr. Baatjies again, just to explain a bit more.
Organization.
Well, like my friend has stated, yeah, I'm involved in a lot of things in the community because I've been staying there in the moving between Q-Town, Silvertown, Bridgetown, Bok Makiere, being involved with soccer, netball, and I was a soccer referee from South Western Province. And I'm too old now because I'm not that young anymore. I used to, but I'm my time that I have, it's available to me. I got involved with the Coons, Malay choirs, still a member of Vincent Football Club with the street soccer netball we're busy with, and that is what we do to keep our kids from the street. And one thing that I must really say, it's our club, Vincent Football Club's 25th anniversary this year, and we're celebrating it like we do. And then we're very proud to be part of this club because this club has got a lot of our youngsters is playing for top clubs at the moment. It was scouted by some of these top communities. Like for instance, we have a youngster now recently that Ajax has picked up. It's what's his name? I can't get his name, but I'll get his name then I will. But anyway, I'm proud of this youngster because he was the junior, part of my junior crew. When I was junior chairman of Vincent Football Club, that's why I'm really mentioning his name. He's a fantastic player, and I've always said to myself because he's got both, he plays with both feet. He's left and right footed. He's good in both directions, and I'm really proud, like I said. But nevertheless, Bok Makiere, like this is a little bit of history. I said Bok Makiere was bold those years. That's bold for our all army veterans. And Bok Makiere, Huisendal is one of the oldest communities in the Western Cape, colored communities. Because one thing that I can say is the people that stays there, they are proud of one another. It's the only thing is that we are a very divided community and we never speak with one voice. It's always difficult to prove to people they need to stand together to make things work. But we're getting there. You're getting there. We had a couple of months, couple of years, we had some terrible gang fights amongst our youth in the area where we stay. Bok Makiere's got 8 different gangs. And I think that is totally unnecessary. Why have all these gangsters? Why have all these children turning to gangsterism? Because why? For them, gangsterism, they say to themselves, it gives them power. Because at home, they don't get what they get. But with the gangsters, if they want a pair of tekkies, the gangsters give it to them. That is what they feel. That is their power. It gives them status to wear a branded t-shirt, to wear a branded tekkie, to wear a branded cap, whatever, or jersey or clothing. It gives you your status. But no, clothing doesn't give you status. I think they must move away from this. They must really move away from it because they must ask themselves, go to their parents and ask them and say to them, what do they think about this thing, about this, the gangsters, the elderly gangsters, bringing them in and say, you are gangsters, and they wear the gangster stamp as well. To them, I really must tell these youngsters, please think twice before you become a gangster, because it will destroy your life forever. Once a gangster, always a gangster. You can never get out of it. You are lucky if you get out of it, because why? These guys will chew you and they will spit you out. That's one of the things that I'm saying I'm very sad with. Because why? Some of our kids at school even, as low as primary school. In the past, you used to have them at high school, but now you have them in primary school as well. You don't know who to trust anymore. Because especially some of these youngsters, they're prepared to tackle teachers even. because they feel they are more powerful and stronger than the teachers. Who are you as a teacher to come tell me that I can't do this and do that and whatever I want to? Who are you to come tell me that I can't carry a knife to school? That's just what these youngsters do. They carry that weapon, it's defense for them. They don't know it's a weapon that will kill them. But when they kill somebody, then they have regret and it's too late, the damage is done. Like my father always used to say, you bend that tree while the tree is still young and let them teach them in a proper manner. Never let them get away with it and stick to it. If you see you can't get through, you just keep on. You repeat yourself day by day so that you can convince us, these youngsters, not to go into gangsterism or into drugs.
And I always tell people that, this, for me personally, I feel that the safest place in this world to live in is in Bok Makiere. Sometimes I feel like I don't want to move out of this community, because if you that's happening in other areas, it doesn't matter which area you go to, the crimes are much worse than what we experience in Bok Makiere. That's just my personal opinion that I feel. And I'm also the administrator of the Facebook page called Bok Makiere Aslam, and then also the administrator of the Bok Makiere website, which is www.bokmakiere.co.za. And then I've got a team of others as well, Marwan Fernandez, that's also part of the Bok Makiere. And then I've got my wife, which is Fatima Manan, and my brother Siraj Jacobs. And then there's Pesky Peterson, better known as Boboy in our area. So there are people trying to bring these changes in our area to assist in the community, but we can't do it alone. We need the assistance from the community itself. And we shouldn't be afraid to approach gangsterism in our area. There are many other ways other than approaching it with harshness and so on. Recently, we had a workshop in our area on how to approach crime in our area. There are various ways, and I'm always of the opinion that we shouldn't do things not the olden way, that maybe certain olden ways work, but nowadays we need to use different tactics to fight crime. Like I always tell myself that I'm not a crime fighter. We've got people that gets paid to fight crime for us, but we are there to assist with developing our people. And I think this is something that we need to get right. And our media, they are so many things in our mind. Muhammad, I don't understand why they use certain words in the media. Just a quick example that I would like to make. They always link poverty to gangsterism. Now, my personal opinion, Muhammad, is that why are they linking poverty to gangsterism, which I don't find necessarily true. Maybe it's because of they use statistics, because of the crime, but it was who created this gangsterism. This thing about gangsterism, it wasn't the poor people. That must have been somebody that's high on top of the where money concerned, that paid people on the lower ground that is desperate in need for money to create these things as gangsterism, to sell their drugs for them. It wasn't a poor person.
I don't want happy communities, you see.
Yes.
Once you're happy and you're stable, you're not going to use the drugs. You're not going to
Yes.
introduce yourself to drugs. No, they want unhappy communities. That's the main concern. When you're unhappy, who's going to happen? Your father not going to stay behind you. Your son not going to respect you. And the day you got a hoax in your family and chaotic system. Who's going to benefit? The drug dealers.
And then
Drug
who
lords.
gets the name called gangsterism? Then it comes down to the poorer areas and so on. But why are they not calling these rich people gangsters? It's because they are the people that are supplying the poorer people with it. So they need to be highlighted as well as gangsterism, like they're highlighting all the and these things get implanted into our brains. And that eventually, that is what our people is going to believe, is that if you are poor, you need to be a gangster or you need to sell drugs to make money. There's no opportunities and things like that for poor people. So the media needs to get their wording right as well.
There's the opportunity, at least, you can express yourself. Now, this is like becoming viral worldwide, you see.
Yes.
You must say everything you want to talk about.
Yes.
There's just one thing I'd like to raise is number one. It's strange enough that me and Noor's mother went to school together. And it's God sent that he's sitting next to me today. It's amazing how things are in life. And then I must really say Noor is doing a lot in our community. And I must just tell him, Noor, don't give up. You still got a long way to go into life. And it's only you, guys like you, that can make things work in the community. Like the way I started very young, getting involved with all these different organizations in Q-Town. As like I mentioned now recently, sport. I always believe a child in sport is a child out of court. And then there's one thing I'd like to say. At the moment, we've got a problem because at the moment, what's happening in our communities at the moment is these our foreign nationals, our brothers, they move into our communities, bringing these drugs, which they are selling. To me, I'm not very happy. It's not that I'm a person that's xenophobic. I need to say this is not right. We have accepted them coming into our country, but I cannot condone what they are doing, bringing the drug into our community. And I think they should stop it because we can work with them, but as long as they will be doing these ugly things in our community, we cannot condone it, and they can go along and do as they please.
That's a crime.
And especially at one place in Cape Town, the parade, where I work as a trader. That's just what I'm doing. Drugs is freely available. It's freely because our school children, they flock into the parade and on the top deck, buying the drugs which they use. So I would say, if those guys weren't there will be no drugs available. But as long as they are there, I cannot whisk them away because they're part of society. But I appeal to them. They must stop it because it's not working for us. It's taking us backwards. When we thought apartheid was finished, we're gonna have an easier life. It never materialized because for small business people, most of our people haven't grown. Look at Lower Cape Town Station. That was supposed to be a vibrant flea market. What's there? There's nothing today. There's nothing.
I agree with you.
No suffering. It's us as look. If the parents suffer, family suffer as well. So if there's no income, what's happening to the
Free market is employment. You see,
it's a way of
self-employment.
Yeah.
You stop free market. You're stopping that.
you're stopping, and especially if you stop the trade, you stop people from living.
Good. Makes sense.
And then
All right,
also,
we can come to final and just bring your final decisions, okay?
and then also what I would like to mention is that my father, everyone knows him as Butatullah. He's a very known person in our community, works a lot in the community, and we get to see all types of things where people used to come to him and still come to him for advice sometimes and like explain their situation as well, what is happening and so on. So coming from that home, Mogamat, it's sad to see. Just a one story that I'd love to tell everyone out there. This one lady came to our house. Her son was involved in gangsterism and so on. And this mother came to my father. My father does like the burial funds for Muslims and so on in the community. And this lady came and told my father, Utadullah, ek wil nou net my die fightclubs opbetaal want die gangsters is agter my sien. Sad to see how a mother must worry about her son going to be killed soon, and she's preparing herself already for her son's death. It's very sad to see.
What is the solution? Like, what can you say?
The solution, we've you've recently experienced, Mogamat, how our community leaders came together and organized a youth day event function, and you were present at the function, and you've seen the success what
Impressive.
our leaders
Impressive.
came up with. So my appeal is to our leaders in the community is to come together again, once again, and we can fight crime. And I always say that we are not a message that was always given to somebody that I know. He will always tell me, we are not here to be popular. We are here to service, to provide a service to people, to our businesses, wherever we might find ourselves working. So to our leaders out there, we need to come together and we can fight this crime on different ways, and we can get rid of our gangsters in our areas. We can get rid of our drugs, and we can make Bok Makiere Hazendal a better community.
Just final words from you.
Well, all that I can say is I appeal to people out there that knows Bok Makiere very well. Do not stay away from Bok Makiere. Bok Makiere isn't as bad as what people really think. We are all loving people in that community, and we always try to help one another. It's just said that what recently happened is the crime rate that's coming from outside, because the drugs come from outside. It doesn't get invented into our area. It's been brought into our communities, and that is what's killing our youth. That's the cause of why we have all these unnecessary killings. Because to most of these youngsters, for them, if they sell their drugs, they think they've got power and they've got money and they've got guns. That is this is where they are destroying our youth and our family life. Because to kill a youngster, you're killing part of the family. And the family mourns that person. And it takes some time to heal. Everybody's not the same thing, except somebody's dead overnight. It takes, because as a Christian, I say that no matter who the person is next to me, I must love that person, because that's my neighbor. Ability to make things work for one another. That's all I can say.
And then
Thank you
also
so much.
the best investment, I always say also that Bok Makiere it's a very small area, and to pile a project that would be the best area to pile a project to get rid of, if you want to test your idea maybe of how to get rid of gangsterism, how to get rid of drugs, because our community is not as big as other areas such as Bonteheuwel, Manenberg, that are facing bigger crimes than what we are facing in Bok Makiere. So if you can get it right in Bok Makiere, or that is on a smaller scale than Bonteheuwel, Manenberg, and these bigger areas, you should then be able to work in other areas as well.
The final things I'll ask, if you got any organization or any banking details, maybe anybody want to put some fund accounts.
Mr. Vincent Baatjies,
I've got no banking details with me at the moment, but maybe next time.
Next time,
Yeah, I can prepare it for.
but
these things.
But at least people can communicate with directly. Just give your cell phone number one more times.
There's one thing I'd like to those who are out there tomorrow. We're having a big march in Cape Town tomorrow. The informal sector is standing up, because why? They feel they had enough. Government is not doing enough for our small business people. So we're having a march, and it's right through the whole country.
Good. Genoeg is genoeg, basically.
Genoeg is genoeg.
and also you can follow us on Facebook, which is Bok Makiere Athlone, BOKMAKIERIE space Athlone. You can invite us in as an invite, and then I will accept you, and then as well as my other colleagues that's helping me run the Facebook page. Or you can also like our page, Bok Makiere Hazendal. That's another page that you can also go on to, or visit our website on www.bokmakiere.co.za.
Any cell phone number or any landline number?
No.
Okay, so
It's good. We are thanking to Mr. Noor and Mr. Baatjies for bringing us such a beautiful information about Bok Makiere, and live broadcasting ended right now. We will see you tomorrow. God bless.